Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. So we have officially made it through the first ever wildcard series in a Major League Baseball postseason format, and that's been interesting to watch. We went from 16 teams, and we narrowed it down in half to 8. And that is where today we will start with the American League Division Series games between the Houston Astros and the Oakland Athletics, and the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. Now I'm going to be breaking down every Division Series matchup, not just the AL, but the NL games that also start within the next upcoming days as well. So it's going to be a fun Division Series. I mean, it's quite literally all 4 divisional matchups. So by that, I mean, in every situation we see, it's 2 teams from the same division facing off, which is really cool. It doesn't always play out that way, but in this case, it is. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have 8 teams now. Only 4 will move on to the next round, the Championship Series, and of course 2 move on to the World Series, and that is the biggest stage in all of Major League Baseball. So we are going to go ahead. I'm going to give you my predictions. I'm going to break down every matchup here in the Division Series that is starting as early as today. If you guys are ready for it, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Here we go, starting off with the Yankees and Rays. So the New York Yankees and Tampa Bay Rays are facing off for a best-of-5 series out in Petco Park, typically home of the San Diego Padres, but we also do now have this postseason bubble format where there is no home field advantage past the wild card series, which we've already advanced from. So again, Yankees and Rays at Petco Park out in San Diego. It's a best-of-5. Now, my prediction is that the Tampa Bay Rays will move on, but of course, my favorite team here in this set is the New York Yankees, and I really do think it's anyone's series. At the moment, I do believe the Tampa Bay Rays have the upper hand, and there's for a few reasons, but before we get into that, both teams did sweep their respective opponents in the wildcard round, the Indians and the Blue Jays respectively for the Yankees and Rays. Now, as I mentioned previously in the intro, this is a battle of the American League East. The 1 and 2 team in that division will face off here in Tampa Bay and the Yankees. Now, Aaron Boone had said that they are the underdogs. They are getting ready to face off against this big, bad Tampa Bay division leader team. So we're going to see how this plays out. It's a best-of-5. I think it's going to be a fun one. It'll go for, I'd say, a pretty long time. I don't think there's a sweep here, but that is just my opinion. There's a lot riding on this series for both teams. There's rivalry, there's bad blood, and it's just very interesting to see how this works out. The Rays don't like the Yankees, and it is seemingly vice versa. So the Yankees do have the better offense 10 times out of 10, but both teams have loaded front ends of their starting rotation. However, the Rays do come in, and they have the better bullpen. So there's a lot of back and forth here. Game 1 is between Garrett Cole and Blake Snell. It's going to be a fun matchup. Each and every game we go out there and watch, the Yankees and Rays will be battling out. It's a competitive matchup. It's a fun team. I mean, Kevin Cash has done very well with the Tampa Bay Rays this year, manipulating that lineup so that they can work the left-right splits. And it's going to be very cool to see how this plays out. Now, the Rays are probably the favorites here in this series, but for me, my favorite team being the New York Yankees, even though with that being the case, I am predicting that Tampa does move on here, which is a bold statement, but very possible and very likely. So Yankees and Rays, fun matchup out at Petco Park, but I do think Tampa moves on. So for our second and final matchup here in the American League Division Series, we have the Houston Astros squaring off against the Oakland Athletics at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Now again, this is a best-of-5 set, so the first team to 3 wins moves on. Now Game 1 will be featured with Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound for the Astros and Chris Bassett on the mound in Game 1 for the Oakland Athletics. Now, Houston initially swept the Minnesota Twins in the first round, and then the A's edged the White Sox in the wild card series, and that's how both these teams have made it to this point. But we were not expecting Houston, or at least I was not expecting Houston to make it this far in the postseason. They can definitely prove that they belong to be here, that they can win in a postseason atmosphere, even though they might not have done so hot in the regular season. And they have actually pretty decent arms in their starting rotation to get them through a 5-game series. As compared to the Oakland Athletics, maybe not so much, so pitching might be in the upper hand here for Houston. However, the A's have a decent bullpen and a lineup that can scratch together runs. Now, we know that the Astros hitters are very good. Well, they can be pretty good, especially without cheating this year. They have had some decent success, and they proved that sweeping the Minnesota Twins, both their pitching and their hitting have come to play. And it's going to be a fun one here. An AL West showdown. The Astros did not win the division. The Oakland Athletics did do that, but this is no longer a 60-game series. It's a best of 5, so we'll see what happens. Astros, Athletics, first game is tonight. Best of 5. My prediction here is the Oakland Athletics to move on to the American League Championship Series, but I would not be surprised if the Houston Astros came ahead here and did win this round as well, and they shocked us yet again. So Astros, Athletics, my prediction is Oakland, but we'll see how things play out here in this best of 5 set. Moving over to the NLDS now, we have the young Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves squaring off for a best of 5 set taking place at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Now, we have to talk about Miami right now because A, they have never lost a postseason series. They are on a serious push. They are a young team who really weren't expected to do this well here in 2020. They have showed up. They have proven that they're good. They have shown their fan base and just Major League Baseball as a whole that they are very good. They're a team to be messed with right now. And they're facing off against a solid Atlanta Braves roster. Now, Atlanta held their opponent in the wildcard series, the Cincinnati Reds, to 0 runs in 2 games. Now, one was a 13-inning ball game, so, we know the Atlanta Braves have good arms. We know that they can hit. Ozzie Albies, Marcell Ozuna, Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna Jr. This team is absolutely loaded. Now, you cannot sleep on Miami, who, again, has never lost a postseason series. They're young and they're scary. They swept the Chicago Cubs in the wild card set. Are they a sleeper team? I don't know. This is a good matchup between two NL East teams. And I don't know where to go with this one prediction-wise. I don't want to bet against Miami because I do think that they can go far. However, I do want to say that the Atlanta Braves are probably the favorites here. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. I want to say the Atlanta Braves will go ahead and move on. I think it will be an action-packed series. But I don't know. Again, I would not be surprised if Miami does push for the NLCS, which would be huge. And at that case, they have some really tough competitors, no matter who they're facing, whether it's the Padres or the Dodgers. With that being said, we'll move over to the final NLDS matchup here. But again, my prediction between the Marlins and the Braves, I have to go ahead and say Atlanta will move on. But Miami, surprise me. I would love to see it. So our final matchup here in the National League Division Series is between the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers out at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. These are two incredibly good teams. The Padres came back from a 1-0 deficit in the series against the St. Louis Cardinals. They won games 2 and 3. They have a pure electrifying lineup. Fernando Tatis Jr. is amazing. He's young and he is so incredibly talented. Manny Machado is amazing as well. Eric Hosmer, Jake Cronenworth. They have great players on that roster. But the Los Angeles Dodgers have been the team to talk about throughout the entirety of 2020. Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Justin Turner, Corey Seager, AJ Pollock. So many great players, name after name. It's like superstar after superstar here when you rattle down and you look at their entire lineup. Now, this division series, as I've mentioned in the past few videos and, at the intro here, this is another literal division series matchup. The Dodgers and the Padres both belong to the NL West. And the Dodgers kind of had the best record in Major League Baseball very casually, 43-17. Led the NL West division by quite a few games over the San Diego Padres, who they now face in the divisional series in the National League. But I do think Los Angeles is the favorite to move on, and I think they will go ahead and beat the Padres. Do I think it's going to be a sweep? No way. I think San Diego definitely has at least one win or two under their belt. They make it interesting. But it's really important to note here that the Padres may be without Dinelson Lamet and Mike Clevinger. Those are two of their top starters in that rotation. If Clevinger is cleared and is active here in the National League Division Series and Lamet can make appearances and be active and on the mound for the Padres, that's huge. That's a lot different compared to a team without those two guys on the mound at some point throughout this best of 5 series. The Dodgers have a good rotation. They have a good lineup. Their bullpen is going to get them through games. Now, no matter what the outcome is, this is going to be fun to watch. I do think the Dodgers move on. I would love to see the Padres make it to the championship series. Like, underdog-wise, Marlins and Padres would be really fun in the next round in the National League. But I just really think the Dodgers come out here on top. They win the series in 4 or 5 games. And Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, like this company, this small team of guys, they're going to come through clutch. They're going to win. They're going to make it to the NLCS. And they are the favorites for the World Series. They were at the beginning of the year. They were at the start of the postseason. I think they still are now. The Dodgers will move on, in my opinion. That is my postseason pick here in the NLDS. The Braves and the Dodgers. But we'll see what happens. Again, these games will be starting within the next few days out in the NLDS. They're going to be fun. Postseason baseball is here. October baseball is here as well. All in all, we have made it past the Wild Card Series, which was fun to watch. 16 teams might have been excessive. I don't really think that's earning your way to the postseason at that point. But more thoughts on that once this all comes to a close here and we have a World Series winner. However, at the end of the day, we are now starting the divisional series. It's going to be fun. I think the most competitive matchup is going to be the Yankees and the Rays. That's going to be fun. I fully expect to watch as much of this matchup as possible because the Yankees, yes, they are my favorite team, but these are 2 very good teams. These are 2 teams who both deserve to move on to the championship series, but have really good lineups, really good rosters. Like, they're both set up for success here. Yankees and Rays, that'll be a fun matchup. Astros Athletics, Cubs and Braves, Padres and Dodgers. 8 really great teams. Only 4 will move on. We will see how this all plays out within the next matter of days or so. But that is going to end it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like down below. Comment in the comment section under this video. Let me know. Do you agree with my predictions? Do you disagree? Who do you think is going to move on? In what sets and why? And that will be it for this video, guys. Don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.